Not yet. Not until we get the letter. But I didn't want to do that because I did talk with her and she's supposed to send the letter. So I wanted to honor that.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them. I'm looking at that. No, I'm not doing this. Usually, if I'm good looking at it, it's usually.
You ready? Okay, everything is set up. I'll call the meeting to order, please. Commissioners, our first act of business is the approving the minutes from the April meeting of 2025 and the May meeting of 2025. You've been supplied with those minutes. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the minutes as printed and with any corrections that we need to be made as we start.
The only thing I would say is that the May meeting was not a meeting. We didn't have quorum, but we only got notes somewhere that there was no quorum.
Okay. My motion will reflect that.
And otherwise,
Okay.
I second.
Point of clarification, are we moving to approve the April minutes?
Okay, we'll do them individually. Let's do them individually. Okay, a motion to approve the minutes for April.
Okay,
Would you like to do, okay. It's been moved and seconded that the minutes from our April meeting be approved. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, now we'll go to the minutes for the May meeting, where we actually did not have a meeting, but we did listen and talk to all the individuals there. So, Mr. Wilson, would you like to rephrase that?
sure. Madam Chair, I move that we accept the meeting time as scheduled and the dialogue that transpired during that time.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded by Dr. Horton. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, then the minutes are approved as read. Our first order of business is old business, 2.1, Rand McGuire. These will be for ratification. And if you remember, this was for his carport design at his home. So do I have a motion to ratify?
I'll offer.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Wilson, seconded by Donahoe. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Second is 2.2, Robert O'Brien, 417 Jefferson Street. It was some paint and minor repair, and it's basically the same colors as before. So I need a motion for that, please.
Move to ratify that application.
Second. It's been moved by Dr. Horton, seconded by Robinson. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, the motion passes. 2.3, Chateau St. Denis Hotel, 751 2nd Street. That was for some signage changes because they are now associated with the Weston Wyndham Group. So I need a motion to approve.
I'll offer.
Okay. It's been moved by Wilson, seconded by Horton. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay. And that has been approved. Our first order of business tonight is Gregory Corzine, 943 Washington Street. And are you representing yourself? Or, yeah. Okay, if you'll please go up to the podium, state your name and property number, and tell us what you would like to do. Commissioners, in your packet, you will have this. Does everybody have one of these? Okay, you have the diagram of the house. You also have this little piece of paper that says the criteria of what they're going to be doing. And if you would like to state your name, please. And
yes, my name is Chase Collins. I'm with the CRC Works Construction. We're the ones that work with Mr. Gregory to put in this application. He has requested that we help him by achieving maybe a safer turnaround in his front driveway at 943. If you're familiar with where Texas Street and Washington Street come at that red light, currently their driveway exits out at the red light. And so it's kind of a little bit of a hazard, so he wants to install a new roundabout driveway, and then also a driveway that enters into the neighbor, right where he has the gate on the neighboring side. That would be the south side of his property. There'll be some drawings here with dimensions for
Commissioners, if you look on page 2 in your packet, you will see the current house and the proposed drawing of the turnaround. And then on the next page, you will see where they would like to put a driveway up to the gate. So those are the two areas that we are talking about.
And this front package?
No, this front's Washington Street. It's right at the corner of Washington and Texas. We had approved a garage. Yeah, it's wrong application, yeah.
On Washington.
Yeah, so this is just like a simple dimension plan. If you want to scroll through, there should be some actual photographs of the house. And then this is just a simple dimension plan of the kind of the round driveway that gets him out of turning into that red light zone and gets him kind of past a little bit. And then here is actually a small layout with the overhead shot from Google Earth to kind of give you an idea of what we're trying to achieve. If you see right here, he's got the small turnaround right here, and it falls directly into the red light zone. It's not very convenient, and there's not a lot of parking space right there for him. And so what we're trying to do is just kind of mitigate that risk a little bit by giving him a secondary access to the front of his property. And then this is kind of just a mock-up of what that would look like. Of course, we make sure we're ADA compliant on everything for the entryway for both of these additions.
Okay. Commissioners, questions for them or concerns?
I have a question, this is my ignorance, one of the shop. The existing sidewalk that's there, I mean, is that within the city right away?
Well, we questioned that. We didn't have a chance to measure it to see if it was, but we were assuming that it was in the right of way.
But how far past the sidewalk is the right of way? I went out and measured a few minutes ago, and the proposed turnaround, when it's poured from the bottom step to the driveway, is 32 inches. The driveway is 11 feet. And then the widest part, and the tree would be 11 inches from the driveway. And then the widest part of the green area to the sidewalk is 8 feet. So when you slab all of this, you're basically extending the street into the front yard.
That's what I'm trying to understand. Do they have to go to planning and zoning and get approval to remove the sidewalk? I assume what that means right there is they're going to remove the sidewalk.
If that's the plan, then yeah.
We
There
know
are
what-
X's on it, you
That's
know.
where they're proposing to put a driveway.
That's right. I mean,
Yeah, they would have, well,
I don't know what the rules are with planning and zoning. I mean, I assume every residential home has one cut through.
well, that's what I was gonna say. With that, they're widening that driveway because it is a state highway. They would have to get permission from DOT, not only to widen that driveway, but to do the secondary driveway as well.
Right. And my question too is the existing driveway that's there, it does have a little mini turn in that, and then you have, a long way back to the garage. Is there another way? This is so much concrete connecting to the next driveway that's already existing. Is there a way, you've gone to a lot of houses that have long driveways, and then you back into just a small section to turn around rather than slabbing the whole front yard?
I don't know, because most of the time when we have those turnarounds, like you're mentioning, they're usually about 24 foot long on average, and on the property line right there, I don't know if we have enough room for that. If I'm understanding what you're proposing is the only thing.
Yeah, I think you understand
Yes,
what I'm
ma'am.
talking about. It seems like there could be another way, as they're backing out the drive, that they can turn into just enough to get their car and then go forward.
Similar to the house on the corner of Jefferson and Pine. The Hall's house, they have a half back, they have a small circle drive on the left, just like this. And they have a back where you can back in and pull out. And
So-
that's at the intersection of Jefferson and Pine.
to clarify, the way I can understand exactly what the proposition is, you're saying instead of the actual full roundabout in the front, just taking that roundabout off and doing the back end section on the right.
Correct.
The only thing I see with that is where you'd still be exiting underneath the red light is the main issue here.
I have another question.
Can you come over this way?
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Horton, what was that intersection again?
Washington and, oh, Jefferson and Pine.
Jefferson and Pine.
Is this the Halls residence? And I don't know the rest, it's right at the corner of the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, it is it's like a yellow house. It's low.
This corner right here. I wanted to do a Google version of it to see.
Oh, Jefferson and
Right here, right here, right here. That's it.
Solve right here is when you exit here, you're exiting underneath the red light. And so, coming from Washington to Front Street,
So it's that, that's what I want to see.
if you're coming from Washington back to the Front Street, you have a green light. Or if you're coming from Front Street, either way you have a green light.
No.
If you're exiting this property, there's no turn signal or.
Just realized this one was way up. I just realized that was
And I just understand too, this is not, this is a part-time residence. This is not something that's going to be done daily. And so that is.
I just think that one is just to put up so they can see it back in.
You know, and so I think, you know, they were going there all the time, and I need to make some other kind of concessions, but I have a real problem with slapping out.
House. And here's your house. You can get it wrong. That's the side driveway.
This is it, Dr. Horton.
Jefferson. So if you do the same thing, kind of the same thing going on right there. The only thing is let's say in your house, here's the driveway. And here is the big house. If you put a slow movement right there, where you back in there and pull out, you can say this is good.
Yes, you're saying essentially do that pretty right here.
Yes. I know that's probably your concrete, but everything's going to happen. You'll see the trees and you'll lose those bricks on this. It's close to driveway. But if you did it that way, they still have that driveway becomes more usable, but you can get in and get out of it, especially if it's a temporary, it's a half-time residence. You're saving all this yard.
And so that,
Do y'all have any questions? Okay.
And I'm just trying to understand the color of this driveway, and what's being depicted is pretty bright.
yeah, it's just a markup. So if you look on the details, but actually some data ones say that we'll do wash travel to match the existing.
Okay. That's what I have a question.
Yes, and then, like I said, our primary goal here is just to move our exit from underneath the red light to have access outside of being underneath the red light. So if you go back to the picture you just presented, if I know the location correctly, this is before you turn to the right into the housing bridge. This is the same house that they put the Halloween decorations.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so you see, they're actually offset off of the red light right there. So they have one path of traffic to fight right there, whereas in the house that we're presenting has three paths of traffic. And so it's just a risk mitigation on our end is what we're trying to achieve. And I do hear the proposals and I am taking them.
What if you did half circle instead of full circle? And then half circle leading to this drive, instead of all that, we would have, then we would back out and we have this, but we don't have that. So we can always put that with the issue of creating a new
Commissioners, let me have y'all's attention a minute. Before we decide anything on this, I want us to go into the second phase. If you'll go back over to the podium a minute, please. Because it will also help in decision
Pull
making.
that other picture up so you can see it right there. Let's go to that.
Let's go to that. Okay. In my measurements, the existing driveway of the neighbor is at 19 and a half feet wide, okay? You're proposing basically a 15 feet wide,
Yes,
which would
ma'am.
make the total of the two 34 and a half feet wide. That's a parking lot. And that is way too much concrete side by side. And what we've been doing in the historic area is if you do something like this, it has to be disguised by greenery. You can't have all of this concrete. And so you're asking not only for that, you're also asking eliminating all the greenery in front of the house. And then you've got another driveway on the other side. So you see the dilemma that we are in,
Yes, ma'am.
trying to address, meet your needs, but yet also keep the dignity within the historic district. So my question, one of my questions to you is, how important is that driveway? And what is that driveway for? Just to get to that gate?
That is essentially to have a surface that when people come in and out of the gate, it's not going to be running up and all of that. So
Okay, but what's behind that gate? It's the backyard. There is no other concrete, there's no other anything. You know, it would be a mower, it would be something else, you know? So that's my concern. I don't want to approve something that's going to nowhere. And we've had that come up before too.
I'm just super confused, and this may just be me, but I'm looking at this photograph, which is what we've been talking about with the circle drive, right?
Correct.
This is the house, right? And then I'm looking at this photograph.
Which is the side yard. It connects to the, it's the same house.
There's a lot.
Look, it's right there, Jared.
if you look at
There you go.
It's way over here.
Right, but it's going to connect to that driveway, so you're going to have
Do you see
35
that
feet
gate
of
on the right
concrete.
hand side? Can you see that gate?
So this is the driveway to your neighbor's house?
The existing neighbor's house has a current driveway that's there. And they want to put in a double driveway to that gate, which is another 15 feet.
It's to access this gate.
Just to access the gate that goes, I don't mean to ugly or anything, but it just goes to the backyard. Why do you need a driveway to go to the backyard? If you're not carrying a boat back there, or you have a slab back there, or anything like that? If it's
My
just,
primary function is that I've had the house about a year, and every time I turn around, people are parked in my front yard.
well, a lot of that's construction,
Having to tow them, I know.
You
So
know.
it was like, and it makes a huge mud mess out of the yard. So our thought process was working with the neighbor to say, okay, we'll make part of this cement, and then that'll help give more parking room, and hopefully everything won't roll over into our front yard.
right,
So that was the function behind it.
right.
I mean,
But it's
it's a
not
choice.
something
It's
that's
a
truly,
choice.
it's not a necessary item.
If it's a choice between the two, I'd say take the circle and, not do this.
Right, the circle has to do with safety issues as well. So to try to work with you in a way,
So make sure I understand what you just said. If we were in line to approve one of both of these driveways, you would prefer us to keep circle drive?
I would prefer to build the circle drive.
Are you trying to keep parking from your neighbor into the yard? Is that what's happening?
Just random people. Every time there's a fair, I turn around and I got cars everywhere pulled up. I don't know who they are, where they are, where they're from.
Because I was going to say, to your neighbors, you may want to plant some greenery along the driveway and not stop that.
Well, I'm not so much, I'm trying to work with the neighbor because they need extra parking too, they're saying, and I get that, and they come over and ask, and our friends park here, and I'm like, yeah, not a problem, but when you pull into a yard, you leave tire marks, you leave mud, it's
Right.
very hard to, and ultimately, this whole thing's gonna have to get landscaped. And so I
But
would
there
try
again,
to
it
do that.
turns to a yearly
it's not
maintenance.
something that's going to be used.
Turns to a yearly
again.
maintenance.
Pardon?
Turns to a yearly maintenance cost on there because when it gets worn out.
My concern though, Marion,
I don't have any, and I haven't fully been able to hear all the conversation. I don't have any personal objection to the circle drive. What were some of the
My concern was, if you look on that picture, you already have part of a circle drive right there, and then you have a long slab from the street going all the way back to the garage. They're gonna hook on to what's existing there and go all the way in front of the house. And all it leaves is a small green area. And if the Craig birds don't live, then there's nothing but greenery there. That's my concern, that we're losing all the green
And
space.
if something goes wrong with the crepe myrtles, you will see plenty of greenery created. That's not a problem.
Okay, let me ask you this. If we approve the circle drive in front of your home, would it be a way that, see what the garbage is, the two black bags? Okay, where that little circle is, would there be a way to do some plantings there that hide a lot of that concrete as you're going by?
I plan planting all of it that way, so you're not looking at the concrete.
Right. And that's one thing that we've been trying to work with people in the district that have really tight homes and really don't have much yard. If they do have to put in an extra piece of concrete, that it is hidden by greenery.
Yeah.
You know, and if that is the case, then that would hide a lot of that. And it would help soften.
If you look at the plan as what it is, you've got you can't see it on any of these, but you've got a triangle in there that heads up to the front, and then you've got two, I'm gonna call them half circles on each side.
Correct.
If this works, and this, and that'll all be planted out, as well as the side, the easement that I can plant on the side.
Okay.
So it will turn into I'm not gonna build a big fence in the front,
Right.
but we're gonna
You're
use all
going to use
these
the
large
greenery and
hedges
things like
to try
that.
to.
Just so
make
it's
it more
softened in some way to alleviate there's so much concrete. And even behind the crepe myrtles and all of that area, anything that you can do to hide it and, you know, try to disguise a little bit of
I'm with you
concrete.
100%. That's why we were gonna use the aggregate, and I'll have this big gray cement pond there, and then we'll plant it all out. And
Right.
That's wonderful.
And
Well,
I don't plan on using little 5-gallon pots. I'm
Yeah.
trading in what we need to
Right.
make it work from the get-go.
Okay, we appreciate that. And commissioners, do you have any other questions for him or Mr. Collins?
I would move to approve that portion of the application regarding the circle drive in front. That's the extent of my motion.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for the approval of the circle drive, that also that, along with the existing driveway, be shielded by greenery. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
So you basically withdraw the whole part.
Yeah, but you guys had mentioned some other things. What would you suggest in terms of us doing something? Would you like a cobblestone? Would you like?
I think it matches your existing, that's. We have to come up with the material of the driveway.
No, I'm talking about the straight one to take care of the parking problem there.
This is I would like to make this suggestion. Can we get this put in first? And then let's just kind of see what happens when all the construction is over with and those people are gone and you're there for a while and in and out for a while. Let's just wait and see what really has to be done at that other section for right now.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
maybe if you'd like, take a look at something you'd like and then bring it to us and see if it's something that, you know, we can.
Well, yeah, it's for me, because I realize you guys are looking at big gray cement that's been photoshopped in. But for me, when I look at all this, if we use an aggregate so everything kind of matches, when I visually look at it, I go, okay, I should be fine if I crate in enough greenery and build my brick planters on the 1.5 and paint them white to go with all the fences and the wrought irons. And there's a lot of ways I can turn this into a private retreat instead of a house.
Right.
And rather than just being nature and nature is.
But see, when we're presented with this, we don't know that.
I get that.
You
and
see?
I apologize. I realized it had been.
Just trying to make it happen.
Had
Yeah.
graphic cards
Yeah.
put together for you. So I'm fine with let's finish that and then come back to the
And
other.
let's review it again at a later date, if that's
And I'm
okay.
trying to figure out a nice way to not have a fervor with the neighbor over this, and, you know, they're nice people, and I'm trying to work with them to get, I got cars everywhere at all the wrong times. So
But
I,
they would have to be jumping the curb to get there.
when they start on their driveway, they come up on the driveway, then they all pull into the front lawn. And I'll take care of a lot of that with greenery against the fences.
Also, if you'd like, if this helps, go throughout the district and see what some of the other homeowners have done. Maybe that'll give you an idea of kind of what, you know, something that would,
Yeah, it's kind of a strange place because of that big open lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you, these are old pictures here, but I've built the brick pillars between the wrought iron, took the wrought iron all down and redid all the wrought iron.
okay.
And so a lot of work's been done since then, to do very much the same thing. But it does leave that community space there, even though the easement's on my side and part of their driveway.
Well, I thank you for all your work on the property.
Yeah.
Beautiful addition to the neighborhood.
Yes.
But I think we need to get the other one first.
Very nice.
Address this.
So let's do the one, and then I'll come back and
Sure.
figure something else out.
Okay, all right.
Marion, I just have one question. Have you guys contacted DOTD for the access?
That was one that I was going to mention that too. You're right.
Yeah.
We were coming to this hurdle first to make sure we get approval, and then start submitting that.
Is there a stop at planning and zoning that's not happening, or?
It won't happen, as long as they have approval for DOTD for the widening of the access. As long as we have those permits, then there's no reason to come before planning and zoning.
Okay, okay. All right.
Lucky out.
All right, the next order of business is 3.1 Hugo Martinez, 114 Pavy Street. Mr. Martinez, would you like to come up to the podium, please?
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Hello, my name is Hugo Martinez, and I'm just trying to get an approval to paint property on 140 Pavy Street.
Okay, and for the
This
commissioner,
is very helpful. You know, you can pull up the house that we're talking about.
this is the house. I'll pass that around.
140 Pavy.
It's on the
That's on the corner of
Pavy and Second. It's painted kind of light purple right now. And that
No, it's
white-
kind of whitish, old whitish. Yeah.
It's on the corner of Patty and Second, it's a kind of a tannish house that has a fence on the back side of it. It's across the street from.
Right there.
It's right there.
Is it a two-story?
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you're wanting to do what to do?
Paint the outside,
What?
It is at a lean.
white with black trim,
Black trim, and the trim would be,
like face board around windows, the back, I mean, the trim around the doors, windows, and face board.
Has there been any structural work done on this house at all?
We did some cleanup. I mean, it was a lot of overgrown trees and,
You had to clean all that up?
yeah, we kind of cleaned up some. I still gotta go back and, you know, kind of touch it up again, but,
Is it rented or sold?
no, it's vacant.
It's vacant. Are your plans to rent the home?
I still don't know if I'm gonna rent it or move in
Oh, okay, okay. All
or
right,
sell it, I still don't know.
okay.
Is that the napkin that's leaking?
Not right now, all white is white.
Yeah, I didn't read that, I didn't get a chance.
they all say, but it's like the
Isn't that in the
windows top.
I think it's
Yes.
Looks like they're all black.
It's not, it's the ground.
The ground is uneven.
It's kind of like a little.
Okay. I always thought that house was leaning. I did.
Well, I know, this is just when the last people redid it, they were redoing the porch, because his legs were dangling down.
Okay, so the door will be white. And all the trim will be black. Okay. Commissioners, do you understand this now, what he wants to do?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by
So no
Donald,
structural work
seconded
whatsoever.
We just gonna change
Wilson.
riding board, but that's it.
Writing board.
That's the outside. If there's some riding wood, I mean, we're gonna replace it, but I'm going back to whatever.
Then I'll amend my motion that we move to approve the application, but also that they be authorized, if in the process of painting, they find rotted wood, they can remove that.
I do have one question though. The porch is wood. What color will the porch be?
I hadn't thought about it. No. No, I probably.
Can I make a suggestion
Yeah.
of a gray,
Great,
a
okay.
nice
When you
gray?
go to the store, you say porch gray.
Okay.
And then they'll know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And that'll be a nice complement with your black and white. And that may be where you get into replacing some boards and things is in that front porch.
And your stairs on the front need to be the same as your porch.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that brick or is that wood?
That's, the stairs is concrete.
Concrete.
Yeah, but they need to be the porch gray.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so it's been moved. What I understand the motion is to approve the white body of the house, white front door, all black trim, gray steps and porch, correct?
Yeah, make it necessary.
And necessary repairs. Yeah, sure. It's already been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Is there any other new business to come before the commission, or do the commissioners have anything that they need to address? All right, then I have a motion to adjourn by Donovan. Do I have a second? Second by Robinson. All those in favor say aye. Aye.